Welcome to E-Content Development Center, Majlis Arts and Science College, Puramannur. I am Habiba from Department of English. Here I would like to introduce a topic from 5th Sem Open Course English for Professional Success. In this paper, I focus more on interviews and meeting. After watching this video, the learner will be able to develop the skills needed for approaching different types of interviews and how to approach an interview board and how to conduct an effective meeting. While the thought of an interview might appear daunting for most of us, interview preparation is not as it seems. All that one needs to do is stay organized and be proactive. So in this video, we are going to discuss everything related to interview preparation. So let's look at the interview preparation process step by step, that is, things to be done before, during and after the interview. So before the interview, you must know about company information. The most important step is to read and research the company you are interviewing for. So go through the company website, blog and social media pages to assess its products, services and client base. Also read recent press release for insight on projected growth and stability. So these details can most likely to be found on the website of the company in About Us for Who We Are section. Then next, about the interviewer. If you know the interviewer's name already, research about him. Visit his profile on Naukri or LinkedIn and find out whether the person is an HR professional or a technical manager. Then prepare for the interview accordingly. The next one is evaluate the job description. The recruiter puts the effort into mentioning a detailed job description for a reason. They are looking for someone who perfectly complements the job profile and role. So make a good effort to go through the job and description so that you are aware of the expectation the company has for the position. The next one, fit in skills and qualities. While you analyze the job description, outline the knowledge, skills and abilities required. Then examine the hierarchy and determine where the position fits within the organization. Then analyze what the employer is seeking concerning your qualification. Then prepare your resume accordingly. After that, make a list of questions. So as per the company background and job role, make a list of questions you can expect to be thrown at you. Research answers to this question through the company website, social media pages, company news, etc. Then conduct a mock interview. Find a friend or a family member and hand them down the list of questions you prepared. Ask them to play the role of an interviewer. Practice answering all these questions on the list. You can also record your answers to analyze them further. The next stage is organize documents. Keep 2 copies of all the important documents such as your resume, cover letter, degrees, mark sheets, identity proof, photographs, etc. ready with you. Then choose a formal outfit for the interview. If you are not sure about the color, wear black formal trousers and a crisp shirt, preferably in white, blue, pastel or nude shades. Both men and women can for this combination. Pair attire with a mild deodorant or perfume, a pair of black formal shoes, clean socks and black belt. Plug in that iron and make sure your clothes are neat and wrinkle free. Make sure that your overall appearance is neat and clean. Then most importantly, beam with confidence all along with a smile. Then check directions. Check the distance of the venue a day before. Decide beforehand how you would like to commute and plan your timing accordingly. Then one more thing, sleep and eat well. A night before the interview, sleep well for at least 6 to 7 hours. Eat something an hour before the interview so that you have the energy and patience to sit through it. Then carry a bottle of water or juice along to keep yourself hydrated. Now let's see the things to do during an interview. So during the interview, first thing you have to keep timing. It is best to arrive 20 or 25 minutes before prior to the interview time. It will give you time to relax. Then interview body language. While waiting for your turn, sit properly and maintain a good body postures and be polite to the guards, receptionists and other candidates. Keep a smile on your face. And in the interview room, sit and answer questions confidently, be firm yet polite. In case you do not know an answer, be honest about it and pass on the questions. The next one is keep your statement crisp, short and precise. Next, you may ask question for an interviewer. So it is most likely that the interviewer will end the interview the question, do you have any questions for me? So use this opportunity to ask smart questions about the company, position and culture. Then next, how to end an interview. Ending the interview, at the end of the interview, shake the interviewer's hand and thank for his or her time and consideration. Then after the interview, analyze the interview, sit down for a few minutes and write down the questions that you were asked during the interview. And furthermore, assess your responses to these questions and make plans of things that you forgot to mention or have said in a better way. And this will help you to prepare better for future interviews. Then inform your references, that is very important. Inform your references beforehand that they might receive a call from the company you interviewed for. So speak to them about the position and emphasize the points that you would like to be recommended for. Then there is a follow-up activity. If you do not hear from the interviewer within the expected time process, or do not hesitate to drop an email and ask for an update. Then now let's see the types of interview questions. First one, credential verification question, and this type of question include what is your GPA and how long were you at, also known as a resume verification questions. So the purpose is to objectively verify the credentials presented in your background. The next type of interview is experience verification questions. So this type of question include what did you learn in that class, and what were your responsibilities in that position. So the purpose is to subjectively evaluate the experience in your background. The next one is opinion question. In this type of question include what would you do in this situation and what is your greatest weakness, and the purpose is to subjectively analyze how would you respond in a series of scenarios. The next one is behavioral questions. So this type of question includes, can you give me a specific example of how did you that, and what were the steps you followed to deliver that result. So the purpose is to objectively measure past behaviors as a potential predictor of the future results. The next one is competency questions. This type of question includes, can you give me a specific example of your leadership skill, or explain a way in which you sought a creative solution to a present or recent problem you needed to solve. And the purpose is to align your past behaviors with specific competencies which are required for the position. Next one is brain teaser question, and this type of question includes what is 1000 divided by 73 to how many ping balls could be in a Volkswagen. The purpose is to evaluate not only your mental health calculation skill but also your creative ability in formulating the mathematical formula for providing an answer. The next one is case questions. So this type of question including problem solving. Questions ranging from how many gas stations are there in Europe to what is your estimate for the global online retail market for books. The purpose is to evaluate your problem solving abilities and how would you analyze, work through the potential case situations. The next one is nonsense questions. This type of question includes what kind of animal would you like to be, what color best describes you. So the purpose is to get past your pre-programmed answers to find out if you are capable of an original thought. And there is not necessarily a right or wrong answers, since it is used primarily to test your ability to think on your feet. Then when preparing for an interview, it can be helpful to research the different interview formats and styles to help you practice your approaches and answering questions and highlight your skills. The following information can provide additional insight into different types of interview formats and styles, including individual interview, group interview, then panel, technical, multiple round, phone screen, informational, etc. Then types of interview styles. Each type of interview format encompasses a specific style for presenting questions. So the three types of interview question style include: first one is open-ended. On open-ended interview, questions are usually broad in scope so that the candidate is speaking during the majority of the interview. Open-ended questions can focus on a broad topics like how a candidate's strength can help them succeed in the role, of how they develop a weakness into strength, describe how your skill and experience led to the job and will help perform effectively when answering open-ended interview questions. The next one is situational interview. Situational interview question present candidates with a real world scenario and ask them to solve the problem or evaluate how they would approach the situation. Then give specific examples of how you handle similar situation in past role, or you can describe how you approach the scenario if you have no experience with a situation similar to the one you presented with. Then the last one is behavioral interview. So in behavioral interview, question focus on your behavior in past, professional, personal and interpersonal positions and what outcomes result from your actions. So use the STAR method for answering behavioral interview questions, where you explain a situation, the task you performed, the action you took and the result of those actions. This approach can help you highlight exactly what employees look for in effective communication, leadership, teamwork and interpersonal skills. Now let's see frequently asked interview questions. Maybe tell me about yourself. The next one, how did you hear about this position? The next question, why do you want to work at this company? Then why do you want this job? Oh, why should we hire you? What can you bring to the company? What are your greatest strengths? Then what type of work environment do you prefer? How do you plan to achieve your career goal? What makes you unique? These are the frequently asked questions in an interview board. Next topic is chairing meetings. How to conduct a meeting? So a good chair will be mindful of the following some basic points. Before the meeting, plan the agenda with the chief officers and the higher officials. Include items brought to by other members and decide the order and timing of the agenda and who will introduce each topic, and identify which agenda items are in nature, discussion or a decision. So be well briefed about each item and actions taken since the last meeting. The next point is ensure all necessary background papers including the last meeting's minutes, and that is stand out with the agenda beforehand. The next one is check with the staff that all relevant practical arrangements have been made, that is room layout, visualize, guests, etc. So arriving in good time, that is very important. Before the meeting is due to start, the participant must be present. Then during the meeting, start the meeting and welcome any new members and make any necessary introduction and state the objectives of the meeting. So try to be brief when making a point, then maintain control, allow flexibility and freedom of expression. Then keep to the agenda and ensure its time is used effectively. And also one more thing, ensure that proper minutes are taken and ensure everyone understands what is being discussed and keep on an eye contact everyone. Then at the end of the meeting, summarize the decision taken and action points to be followed by, and who is responsible and by when, and agree a date for the next meeting, and it is usually best to set dates for the year's meeting well in advance. And agree what special items will be put on the agenda of the next meeting and what work needs to be done by whom, etc. Now let's look polite way of stating asking for opinions. This is very important. So giving a strong opinion, how can we express a strong opinion? When you are sure about something or feel strongly about certain topic, or you are trying to convince the people, it is sometimes necessary to give a very strong opinion. Remember, words are powerful, so with a below expression you can transmit to other people in a meeting that you have a lot of conviction or feel strongly about opinion you are giving. Now let's take a look at them, the expressions used for expressing strong opinion. So the expressions I firmly believe that, then I'm absolutely convinced that, I'm certain that, then I have no doubt that, then the frequently used expression as far as I'm concerned. So you can see here that we are making it very clear to anyone listening that we hold a strong conviction about the opinion that we are presenting. Then during an meeting, sometimes we may have to clarification. So asking for clarification, and how do you ask clarification in a meeting? Sometimes it's important to clarify what you have said. That might mean that you need to rephrase your point in other words. So use this phrase clarify. You can ask, have I made that clear? Then do you see what I am getting it? Then let me put this another way, and I would just like to repeat that I'm afraid I don't understand what you are getting at. So these are the expressions we can use for clarification. Then how to close a meeting? How do you conclude a meeting? You can use some certain expression for concluding a meeting. So it looks like we have run out of time. So I guess we will finish here. Then next expression, I think we have covered everything on the list. So I guess that will be able for today. Then next expression, well, look at that, we have finished ahead of schedule for once. Then if no one has anything else to add, then I think we will wrap this up, and this is a frequently used expression. Okay, now let's wind up this session, and I hope that you are pretty sure on how to be a part of an interview that is coming forth you, and I hope everything is clear. See you again.